Sophomore number 13, Amy Michael. At forward for the Red Devils tonight, another sophomore number 15, Nina Soros. And forward, senior number 20, Kendall Buckles. The other forward spot, another sophomore number 24, Eleanor Honda. Hinsdale Central Sports from this Karen Person. Out of the team on the scoreboard tonight, they're good to Europe. Starting at his yard, senior number 1, and forward for the Dukes tonight, junior number 10, Sydney Harris. At guard, another junior number 15, Amaya Lucas. And at the guard, another senior number 22, Sarah Christian. And then forward for the Dukes tonight, junior number 25, Megan June. There's a coach by Mr. Megan Collins.
sloppy inbound play there from the Dukes. Now it's Hinsdale Central basketball going down the court. Hinsdale Central, a team that looks like they like to push the pace a little bit more on offense. Like to get those shots going up early. That foul comes on Sarah Christinger, the star for the Dukes. And these York Dukes are 20-5, correct?
Yes.
Very impressive. Great inbound play. Wow, through 3 defenders. That's Eleanor Moniek. Great play. Now it's Fugelsang with it. Gives it to Rufus, who gives it back to Fugelsang. York offense very patient. Opening man in the corner. It's in. That shot's
Sydney
good.
Mullis loads up and fires. York also has good three-point shooters.
Absolutely. We've
Sydney
seen
Mullis, one of them.
2 completely different styles of offense so far. You can see this Hinsdale Central team eager to shoot. On the other hand, the Lady Dukes take their time. Mid-range jumper, no good. And that's York Dukes basketball. You know what? I would like to say that there's more fans in attendance than the guys get most recent game. Absolutely.
More than that Oak Park game?
I mean, the student section, of course, isn't as large, but Lady Dukes still have their supporters. Love to see it. Wow, great physical play by Christinger there.
Beautiful finish. Well, also, it looked more busy because of the marching band. They were here, too, so.
Yes. Wow, great heads-up play. Fugelsang always all over the floor.
Used that lateral quickness to an advantage and ran right down the floor. Got an easy deflection.
Wow, that inbound play is working for him early, but she cannot get it to go down just off the mark from Moniek.
We think in practice that was a play that they probably said, hey, heads up for this. This is a team, they'll run this play.
Absolutely.
They'll beat you with it.
Both teams trying to score from inside early. But that's their sharpshooter. Passing up on a look for a much smarter mid-range shot off the mark. And, you know, when in recent years, when you've thought of the Lady Dukes basketball team, of course Maddie Stark comes to mind. Great player. But I think this new generation has something to prove for themselves. They've been very hot this season as that shot falls from Sarah Kernigal.
Yeah, you're right. And that was like the same mentality as the boys last season and into this season. Everyone's like, oh, they won't be able to do it again. And I'm sure that was the same energy that was going through York. And then they won their Thanksgiving holiday tournament, starting off 4-0. All levels actually won their holiday tournament. And it just worked. And they've done a lot. Carly Schwartz is going to check in. She is a very big three-point shooter for this team.
As well as Caitlin Kajome. Both teams drawing up great inbound plays. Wide open, no good from Carly Schwartz. And we are now, there's only 3 minutes, 39 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Still a tight game. Looks like it's shaping up to be a good one. If you're just tuning in, these two teams play a very different style of basketball, with the scoreboard showing very similar numbers. And now it is the Huskies with it. Huskies opting to slow it down a little bit.
This one's going to go down with York.
York looks like they're willing to take their time again here on the offensive end. Of course, Carly Schwartz brings a little bit of firepower to this offense. When the ball's in her hands, it often is going up and in from beyond the arc.
Well, senior night when Gavin was announcing, Mr. Gavin Hughes was announcing that one, her first shot just went in, and it was a lot of easy threes from that corner on the left side of your screen.
Now it's Kerner go with it for the Red Devils. Great steal there. That ball's picked up by Amaya Rufus, and she's pushing the tempo. Not typical from these Lady Dukes. Travel is called. Fans saying it's a Euro step, but I do think that was a travel there.
There was that extra step. She could not get it up after the Euro step, and just so happens
And
called for travel.
of course, this deep into January, everyone's looking forward to the playoffs for both the girls and the guys.
Well, everyone makes playoffs, but the big thing in high school basketball is where you're going to be seated.
Absolutely. And both of these York teams have put themselves in great position to make a little run for themselves.
They want to be a very high seed once. A nice pass.
Wow. Great give and go there.
Once the time comes, end of February, for the girls it'll be mid-February, guys it'll be end of February. You want to be in that top spot. That's where York was last year. They were a 3 seed.
Contested 3 off the front iron. But yeah, I think York.
It's not just, oh, okay, we're in. That's what we're going to. No, you want to be in. You want to have that high seed. It doesn't mean you're going to host a first-round game. It doesn't mean that. It just means.
Oh, that bank shot's good. And just like that, Hinsdale Central's off to a bit of a lead. But as you were saying,
timeout.
Seeding's massive. And I think that.
That shows how dangerous a team can be. And York was that team, and everyone thought, hey, they were a little overrated. And being at that game, let's say Nick Kosic doesn't get hurt in that game, it's a top-tier team. York has the same thing with Maddie Stark. If she doesn't tear her ACL last season, who knows how far they could have gone. It just so happens they got eliminated in regionals, and I'm sure they're going to use that as motivation to move on.
And talking about the Guy Dukes, of course, anything can happen when you have an 1,000-point scorer, Nate Shockey, only the 7th Duke ever to do it. Very impressive. He's electric to watch. And you got to think, he was on varsity when he was a sophomore. You think Nick Hesh could do the same?
1,000-point scorer. It's possible. It's possible. Both of them started at sophomore.
Very excited.
It is very exciting. And that's what Coach Jordan builds the program around, is using sophomores, and you build them up. He did the same thing with Jeffrey Grace.
And a lot of people, towards the beginning of the year, thought it was a bit controversial to start Hesh over Lex. But as you were saying, it's going to be great for the development of Nick. And by the time he's a senior, he could see himself in a position like Shockey, potentially going Division I.
That's very true, especially with his size, and he's still growing at 6'6". Everyone's still waiting for that dunk. Nice skip pass to Carly Schwartz.
But back to the female basketball game. Dukes now trail by 6. Definitely trying to dig themselves out of a hole here. Fouled on the way up. That's not necessarily the shot you want to be taking if you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole. Nonetheless, Christinger going to the line to shoot 2. And the Red Devils now already up to 5 fouls in this first quarter. Could be an X factor heading into the second. No problem.
You always
there.
want to stay out of foul trouble, and 5 early on is not the greatest. Is not great.
You know, Christinger makes both of those. She has that on the back of her hand at this point. She's an all-around superstar for this York Dukes team. Mid-range jumper, no good. Both teams have been all over the defensive glass. I don't think we've seen many offensive rebounds this far. Wide open girl in the corner. No good. But great offensive board, just as I say it. Loses control of the basketball. Kaylin Kajomi would have loved to have that one back. That seemed to be a free 2
Carly
points.
Schwartz to start out, I believe, 0 for 3 from the three-point field goal.
Nothing you're used to seeing from her from beyond the arc. 9 seconds to go in this first quarter. fans are starting to get into it.
That's Milo, man.
Red Devils up not to shoot that, but it was the right choice. Gives him a little celly pose. Tessa Howe extends the lead to 7. Heading into the second quarter of action, the Lady Dukes trail by 7 to these Red Devils. Exact opposite of what we saw earlier today when the JV Dukes took care of business 52-4 over the Red Devils. Now the Dukes got to get something going on the offensive end. Their defense, not necessarily the problem. They've had open looks, they just haven't been falling.
And that's just a costly turnover. You would like to have that one back. But you won't always get that traveling.
And they have a turnover for themselves as Kendall Butler turns it over. One of the only seniors on this team. And now it's Swiatek with it. Gives it up. Kajomi. So what the York Dukes offense has been doing all day, swinging the ball around, waiting for open looks. It's been working. Shots just haven't been falling. Wow. Hinsdale Central wanted to travel. Didn't matter. She missed it. Following the offensive rebound. And there's a jump ball.
Go down with Hinsdale.
Well, that was a pretty interesting offensive possession. They had shots once again. They got an offensive rebound. Maybe it was the shot selection there. But you probably would have liked to see that one go in.
Well, they did have someone open in the corner.
Great steal. And a great finish there from Caitlin Kajomi. It's a name we've been saying a lot. Those are her first points, but she's been all over the floor. You know, off the hardwood for a minute, with the Super Bowl looming, of course, the 49ers knocked off the Packers. Chiefs knocked off the Titans. I gotta ask, who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
Well, to be honest, partner, I don't know. I really don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's offense versus defense. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
And it's obviously
only time will tell.
Been talked up as this big offensive versus defensive battle. Almost reminds you of those 2000 Ravens. But it's honestly amazing to hear that the 49ers have more points forward than the Chiefs, and the Chiefs have less points against than the Niners. Maybe the script has been flipped. I certainly am picking the Chiefs in that one. Patrick Mahomes is a whole different breed in the playoffs as that air ball is up the mark. But Mahomes really hasn't showed any signs of slowing down. He's already overcame huge deficits in this playoff field. And I definitely see the Chiefs coming out on top of that one. Back to the hardwood now. The Lady Dukes are down by 5. Looking to spark a bit of a comeback here. 2 minutes into the second quarter. Only 2 points scored this quarter. Lady Dukes would like to turn that around. And that pass to the inside will not be able to do it. It's now Red Devils basketball. Megan Juneman was very upset with them calling it off of her. And so are the York Dukes students. 2 of them there in the student section.
That's Tim Glavin and Milo, man.
Wow. that's great to see support from 2 starters of the York Dukes boys starting team, and they're up, they're standing,
They're excited.
getting into it.
They're excited.
Very, very great to see. And now the Lady Dukes still down by 5. I mean, they've held the Red Devils scoreless in the second quarter. They just haven't got anything going themselves. Fugelsang's just waiting to see something happen. Doesn't get what she wants, but she does find an open girl up top. No good. Inside to Fugelsang.
Nice finish.
Bobbles it. Very hard to finish that one. She gets it. And the girls' JV team's loving it. As well as Milo and Glavin. Oh, but they both wanted to travel there. Won't get it. And I believe that foul is a push on Sydney Fugelsang. Milo and Glavin letting the refs hear it early. And you got to be wondering, do you think the Red Devils will use that same inbound play that's worked twice for them thus far?
Oh, probably. Definitely.
So you want to be looking at number 24, Eleanor Moniak.
We have there's an issue with the scorers table.
It's gone to her both times thus far. This time it's a same play, different shooter. Both times, both of those recent inbounds, the play's worked, the shot hasn't fallen. Reminds me a bit of the script of the Lady Dukes. Nice shot there. And these fans are into it. Kissinger ties the game.
Timeout called by Hinsdale Central.
Red Devils still haven't scored in this second quarter.
York is on a 7-0 run.
The comeback is happening. It's a tie ball game with under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Well, there's clearly a change of energy. What have you noticed from this Lady Dukes team in the second quarter? Because I've certainly noticed their defense stepping it up.
That, and they've had more energy. They've been making the smarter plays on offense, and it's resulting in points. You see the score, we're tied at 14, and you got to continue that all throughout. They did a good job stopping the Hinsdale play, but also you don't know, is that just them missing their shots, because that's happened twice. I believe once it worked, and it's just which team is going to pull away first. It was like, okay, here we go, Hinsdale, and then York has fought their way back into this, and that's what's going to happen.
And I 100% agree with everything you just said. And if you are the Red Devils, you need to see something happen in here. Absolutely need to find a way to break this girls' zone defense.
I don't know if they'll tell you to like stop.
We're back following the timeout. Now Hinsdale, contested 3. That's not your look, but great offensive rebound. Not your look if you're trying to come back in this ball game. Really deep 2. No good.
Off the mark.
And everyone loves to see these York Dukes pulling off this comeback here. Now a tie game. They need to build on this. Don't let the hype stop now.
Driving. Nice finish.
All of a sudden, all of the momentum in the gyms for the Dukes. Glavin and Milo up in the air. Very excited about it. 3 to stop the hype. No good. The Dukes look to further extend their lead.
We're on a 9-0 run.
Not a line I'd be expecting to say coming in the second quarter. And I think part of it is one of the X factors for that Hinsdale Central team.
Deep 3, off the mark.
Number 50, Maiwen Amajide. has not been in the game, and she wants to be going back in. She's checking in now. Absolutely an X factor there in the paint. She was part of what was stopping all of this driving offense from happening for the Dukes. Dukes get the ball back, looking to extend their lead here. If you're just tuning in,
Pass is a little high.
But if you're just tuning in, there's 3:19 to go in the second quarter. The Dukes up 2, 16-14. They're currently on a 9-0 run. Hinsdale Central yet to score in the second quarter. And the Dukes, who just feels like trail by 7, now are on top by 2. Now, Red Devils trailing by 2. This is not an easy feat to come back from with all this Dukes hype. But they're looking to shut it up here.
Jump ball is going to stay with, no traveling.
Wow.
Traveling is the call. I thought it'd be jump ball, the way it worked, but it'll be York balls. They'll come back down the floor.
And the JV team's loving it. Soaking it up. Many of them will likely be on this varsity team next season, with many seniors leaving. Now the Dukes looking to extend their lead again. They've had chances, and great backdoor pass. Great job getting open there. Number 15, Amaya Rufus, finding her way inside to get her first 2 points today.
This bench is hyped. They're hyped, they're ready. Out of bounds. Staying down low.
Wow.
Lavin and Mann both hate the call.
And the girls' JV basketball team is pouring water on each other.
That's the least of our concerns.
Now here comes Hinsdale Central Red Devils with it. Now they're taking their time on offense, but they get it. The main lady in the post, no good, gets her own offensive rebound, fouled on the way up. Great play there for Maiwen Amajide.
Almost a better finish.
25, Megan Juneman, that's her second, team's third.
First one, knocks it down. She's a chance now to cut this York lead to only 2. And I mean, it's been a struggle for these Red Devils to score at all in the second quarter. That's their first point whatsoever here. If she can get this one to go, they will cut the York lead to 18-16. She gets it. Great finish there, makes them both huge from the line. If you want to win games, you're going to have to make your free throws, and she did just that. Now it's the Dukes bringing back typical offense. We're just passing it around the perimeter, waiting for things to open up, and it does open up, and it's in! Great shot. Carly Schwartz.
Finally
we were talking about her earlier.
fall.
The sharpshooter for this Dukes team, and all the fans are really into this one. Dukes now on top by 5, and here comes the steal, going down court. Great move, passes it off. They're forced to slow it down. We would have liked to see her put it up there.
Push will stay down.
And that foul comes up against Angie Conley. Only the second foul of this entire quarter. Second quarter's been moving by quick. Not too much scoring, especially from the Red Devils side. Oh, great pass from Schwartz, find the open field. Saying gives it back to Schwartz. No good. I thought Schwartz was going to get another one there. Felix saying to the outside. you could tell she was looking to get fouled with that release there.
She's trying to finish 2. Didn't happen to be the case.
And now Caitlin Kajomi's going to the line, shoot 2 with a chance to extend this York lead to 7. But it feels like this is a short time ago. The Red Devils were up by 7. Knocks down the first one. Gets all the second one as well. Very impressed by the free throw shooting thus far from both teams.
Nothing but nylon for both teams.
And this press has been what's turned it around for the Dukes. Another turnover from the Red Devils. Now it's Fugelsang with it. Fugelsang seems to be more of a playmaker, helping her teammates get open. And it's Schwartz. She loves to shoot it. Hasn't been hot tonight, but it doesn't matter because the offensive rebounds have been coming around for the Dukes. That sends Christinger right back to the line to shoot 2 more. Bobby, of course, going into this quarter, York was down by 7. They now lead by 7. What have been some of the X factors?
The defense. They've held Hinsdale Central to 2 points, but those both came on free throws. So if we're ignoring the free throws, they've basically shut them out. And they've also scored almost 20 points in the quarter. So they're finishing it down low on offense. Kissinger has, she's got 7.
5, rather.
That is number 23. Sarah's number 22.
Correct. There they go. The court.
Caitlin Kajomi is number 23.
That's the name we've been saying a lot tonight. Caitlin Kajomi, effective on the offensive and defensive end. And someone who's really struck me as a two-way player as well is number 15, Amaya Rufus. Seems to have been getting a lot of steals in this press for the York team.
She's done great on transition, traveling.
And Kendall Butler having none of that call. And about to check into the game for the Red Devils. Tessa Ho. But Lady Dukes, 34.4 seconds to go in this second quarter. Oh, Carly Schwartz heating up. They don't want to wait for the final shot. They don't care there's no shot clock. They want to get it going.
They went on a 20-2 run.
And Milo and Glavin are starting a chat themselves. And another steal by who else but Amaya Rufus. Oh, she can't get it to go there.
Jump ball will go down with Hinsdale Central.
I believe they called a foul there on Rufus.
You were right about that. That was jump ball.
I can see why you thought that. I personally would have called a jump ball there. But with 10 seconds to go, I'm not very confident in the fact that the Red Devils will even get a shot up with how effective this Duke's defense has been. But they do get all the way in the paint. Oh, wow, what a finish. 2
Coast
seconds.
to coast.
1 second. They won't get the shot off, but very impressive way to end the half there from Eleanor Maniek. Cuts the York lead to single digits and could be a potential momentum swinger for these Red Devils. AJ Swiatek, Bobby Hessling on the call. We'll be back after this halftime break. And we're back following that great halftime, giving acknowledgement to all the girls, airborne teams. Great to see a lot of them having great success. Of course, the 8th grade team, 27-4. Nothing to frown at whatsoever.
And knowing next year they'll be on the York team. Everyone else, they have time to come. 4th and 5th grade, for sure. They still have all of their middle school career. We got traveling, going back down.
Milo and Tim started another chant. Sole student section here, still making an impact. Milo and Tim experiencing what they've never experienced, given that they're on the varsity team, other than when they were freshmen, of course.
Freshman and sophomore, that is.
Correct. Great inside feed. Fouled on the way up. That will send Sydney Molis to the line with a chance to extend this York lead to double digits. Bobby, coming out of halftime, what are some adjustments that you think the Red Devils made to try to score on this York girls defense?
Right, drive into the paint more is probably a key thing that they wanted to do. Finish down low. And maybe even, probably, not, this should not be their first priority. Just jack up a bunch of threes. You think that's your last resort?
Absolutely. We've seen so many teams dig themselves in such bigger holes that just start launching the 3 ball, especially with a team like Hinsdale Central, where that's not their game. They like getting inside quick, scoring quick buckets.
Finishing inside the arc, finishing at the line. But you're not going to win just by shooting free throws. We all know that's the case.
We sure can win by someone else missing their free throws. It's happened time and time again. Teams that make free throws win games. Now the Red Devils must have something drawn up here. Start out the second half. Get them in on the scoring action. Great offensive board effort. That's a jump ball. You know, I've been very impressed by Eleanor Maniak today. One of the sole bright spots in what the Red Devils have been doing. We said her name a lot. She, of course, was the scorer off that inbound pass. Really has been fighting hard. And that pass seems to be to nobody.
That play was completely broken.
You sure Krissinger's got to be looking for something there. It's a messed up play. Another offensive rebound. Another offensive rebound. Wow. When you get 2 offensive rebounds on a possession.
You think you got to finish.
Especially in this situation. They had 1 last possession as well. That's not something you could be having happen there. Open from 3. No good. Out Hinsdale Central with it. Hinsdale Central has a lot of new players in right now, one of them including number 13, Lainey Randall. We haven't seen much of her. Sophomore guard. Great finish there from Nina Saros. That's another sophomore on the court. This Red Devils team, of course, very young. Lots of players to grow on. Sure, they'll be much better in years to come.
I'm sure by the time, probably when you're a senior, it'll be a very good girls team.
Absolutely. That's a great down-court pass there. Great scoring from the senior Carol Butler, but that pass was delivered from sophomore Nina Saros. As you said, I think by the time I'm a senior, when all these girls are seniors as well, it'll be very impressive. Very fun basketball team to watch, especially as they're all getting time on varsity now. Lots of time to develop, lots of time to turn it into something great. Hinsdale Central only trails by 7. Offense really hasn't been there. They've been scoring off of putbacks, and really the rebounding thus far in the second half. Those just tuning in, 4:37 to go here
We got traveling. Hinsdale Central's taking their own momentum switch.
in the third quarter.
You wonder, like you said, that almost basically buzzer-beating shot that ended the first half for them. I wonder, is that a key reason?
Well, we've seen it multiple times this season where just any little spark going into halftime could kill so much momentum. And, of course, a shot like that, off balance, perfect switch. I'm personally very impressed by that. And I think a shot alone like that could have absolutely caused a swing. But Sarah Fugelsang's trying to say no. Wow! Does it all by herself.
Great job in transition.
Sarah Fugelsang says, I don't care which direction the hype's going. It's going towards the Dukes now.
That got everyone on the bench hyped and all three students in that student section hyped.
You know.
Oh, nice block by Sydney
wow.
Mullis.
Once again, a possession with 2 offensive rebounds for the Red Devils. The Dukes got to work on their defensive rebounding capabilities. It was something they're so strong on in the first half. It's clear that Hinsdale's been working the ball to Nina Soros here.
A foul. I believe that's on going to be
That comes on number 10.
Sydney Mullis.
And these Red Devils trail by 9, cruising over the court. Look, as I was saying, if you're just tuning in, the Dukes at 1 point, trail by 7, now lead by 9. They have all momentum. Red Devils are looking to change that, but they have to play more to their game. They've been shooting many contested shots, which is not what they like to do. They like to pick up the pace, blow past the defender, and get open looks in the paint. And this York Dukes defense, which is now switched to a man, is really keeping them from doing that. This possession is taking them a while, not something we're used to seeing from them. Bobby, what do you think the Red Devils need to do to spark a comeback?
They have to finish down low. They got to use all that height to an advantage, and they have to get open looks and make the open shots.
And now on this possession alone, the Dukes have fouled 3 times.
It's already put them at 4 fouls.
And that's something that's nice for Hinsdale Central, but you think they still need to come away with points here.
And they got the offensive rebounds. They could just never finish with those offensive rebounds, which you would think, hey, that's something you got to work on.
Absolutely. Great inside pass and put up. There's Mylon Amagajiji to the line. She made both of them last time. And that falls on to Maya Rufus. Only has 2 fouls. Seems to have had much more steals than fouls at this point in the game. She's been a huge part of this York Dukes press. Milo, man, yelling at the top of his lungs, doing anything he can.
He's making an interesting sound.
To make.
We would all remember Ryan Piquel in the first game that Jack Tosh would consider that to be a chicken.
The offer still stands. If you want to give us $1 million for a truck, he'll eat anything. I just got word from Jack Borcher. He's fine with $250,000.
The $1 million is for 5 pounds of spaghetti that he'll eat.
Yeah.
That'll
be some 10-star spaghetti right there.
Goodness, that would. We will broadcast that live if you are more than welcome to do that.
Chunky ragu all over that spaghetti.
I'm sure he'll enjoy it. He'll eat almost anything.
As Chick-fil-A earlier today had a chicken sandwich and a 12-piece nugget.
I thought it was 8.
It was 12.
They hit a large fruit punch.
2 large fruit punches. You know, something we're used to seeing from Ryan Piquel.
It's nothing new, let's be honest.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, great job in transition.
Fugelsang's all over the
Finish.
floor. Oh, that's one she'd like to have back. It doesn't
Didn't matter.
matter.
Megan Juneman down low, and that's her first points of the game.
You know, Fugelsang couldn't get that one to drop, but she's been great for the Dukes here in this quarter. Really the reason their lead stayed at 9. Because the Red Devils have made some pushes, but whenever it seems like they have a chance to get back in it, Fugelsang seems to be stealing the ball and driving down the court.
They thought she stepped on half court. We're directly at center court. I don't think she did.
Well, doesn't matter regardless. Per usual, Dukes end up with the ball, and that's Schwartz. Banks it in!
Uses
And
the
look
glass.
at Milo, man. Going crazy. So it's Glavin.
Use that glass to an advantage, and Carly Schwartz. She's got 9, it's all 3s.
And
Quick timeout on the floor. We'll be back after this.
following that short timeout, it will be the Red Devils ball with a chance to call play, but the Dukes press been very effective so far this game. Red Devils have had a hard time beating it. For those just tuning in, just over a minute left in the third quarter. Dukes are on top by 12. At one point, they trailed by 7. This is the highest lead that the Dukes have had all night. And really, whenever it looks like the Red Devils have a shining moment, a shining hope, Fugelsang,
It's taken away by her.
Just take it away, literally take the ball away and bring it to the other end. Inside now, going to work. There's the defensive rebound.
Jump ball will come back down the other way.
I believe that was actually a foul on number 50, Maiwan Amajijidwe.
You are right. That's my bad.
And to Maiwan, I'm very sorry for pronouncing your name 4 different ways tonight. I really am. Now here come the Dukes with it. Bobbled pass, but it doesn't matter. Great feed.
That
From
may
Sarah
have been.
Christinger
That might have been sloppy,
to
but
Megan
that was a
Juneman.
beautiful finish.
Christinger bobbles the pass. But
Out of
still
bounds, staying down here.
sends it to her teammate Megan Juneman. And honestly, after the first quarter, this Red Devils team has looked different. Reminds me a bit of just a team that thought they were ahead, thought they had it, and then they started slacking, let the Dukes come back, and now they can't dig themselves out of this hole currently.
Well, it's a terrific second quarter adjustment by York. And they put themselves in this terrific position.
Coach Collins has done a great job this game. I'm very impressed from what he's done. And at the end of this third quarter, Dukes on top by 14, a 1-point trail by 7. They turned it around real fast, steered the ship in the right direction, and we'll be back when the fourth quarter is underway. You know, following that quarter break, where we saw a lot of dancing from Milo, a lot of dancing from Glavin, a lot of dancing from all the Elmhurst Airborne teams to YMCA, we're back.
You would think that you're playing YMCA, you'd be initially thinking of Elmhurst YMCA basketball. Can't finish.
We're at a much higher level here, this girls basketball team. And a lot of these Red Devils points have come from the line. Absolutely, we're looking to add to their 24 points here. And at the line, shooting 2, is Nina Soros.
Milo is coughing very hard, trying to distract them.
Doesn't work. There's one thing the Red Devils are good at. It's shooting free throws.
We're going to get any other sounds out of them.
And there are...
Was that Milo who made that? Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought so. That screeching.
There were noises, but it didn't matter. This Hinsdale Central team, very disciplined, good from the charity stripe.
Both of them. Fantastic from the charity stripe.
But these backdoor passes from York, very impressive. Glavin's on his feet. He hates it.
He's upset about something.
Hinsdale fans love it.
That foul's on 25, Megan Juneman. That's her fourth.
That's now Megan Juman's
Team 7.
fourth foul.
Later this season, Hinsdale Central will be back in this gym, the boys. It'll be the York boys senior night. It'll be interesting how many, it would be revenge almost for York. I mean, they're a team who's trying to win conference, and they thought they were going to have that locked up. It's no longer the case. They have to beat Oak Park probably again, and then it's just not to lose another game, which they have conference home games coming up. They still have to play Hinsdale at home, Proviso at home, and Downers Grove North at home. However, they still have to travel on the road to play LT and Oak Park River Forest.
And speaking of which, of course, Dukes have been great this season, but I would not overlook that DGN game. A team that I feel like is very overlooked. We saw them a bit in the Tosh. Very fast-paced.
That was DGS.
No, DGN.
Downers Grove North was not in the Jack Tosh.
Yes, they were.
No, they were not.
Yes, they were in the South Gym.
That was Downers Grove South.
Following that timeout, we're back. Under a minute gone in this fourth quarter. Dukes, once again, opting to slow it down. No need to pick up the pace. They're up 12.
You run a conservative type offense here. We have a jump ball. It's going to stay with York. You want to do something that kills clock and run that conservative offense.
Absolutely. It's been working for them all night. No need to switch from it, especially at this stage of the game. No shot clock, of course, in high school basketball.
I saw a video recently in a girls' game. This girls' team, they held it for 6 minutes. They drained all the clock. It was insane. Like, I saw that. I was like, wow, you have to be kidding me. Like, and this always poses the question, should there be shot clock in high school? Like, it won't be 30 or 24 like the NBA or college, but maybe make it like a 40-second, a 35-second.
On that point, me personally, I think there absolutely should be a shot clock, just to keep the end of games interesting, and like you said, to prevent teams from being able to do what
just
you
like-
just said.
Yeah.
And in the tournament hosted at Proviso, something like that also happened, rather in a boys' game. A team was able to hold the ball for 3 minutes and 30 seconds in the second quarter until halftime to get the final shot. And that was a massive swear in that game. And as you said, I don't think it needs to be something as extreme as 24 seconds, but anything to keep the game interesting. The only problem...
To keep the pace moving. Because
The only problem with the rule change is a lot of schools are not able to get a shot clock.
they would
and-
have to get the investment, so
Absolutely. So unless it
you'd
was
have to put it on the
provided-
back of the hoop. And
Unless it
I
was,
understand the pain of it, of having this issue. But
Unless-
you think it's something to have necessary.
Absolutely. If it was unless it was provided,
I mean, they have
By
to delay a game
boosters.
penalty in high school, but you don't see that play clock. You just got to remember it. And you
absolutely.
could do that and always have it, like, thinking, but I don't know, is that an extra step that you have to remember?
Absolutely. And that shot's good.
Nice
Red
three.
Devils starting to gain a bit of momentum. Cut the lead to single digits. We might have a game on our hands here with 5 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Schwartz from the corner. No good. Great offensive rebound by York. Great fight from this team. And now it's Schwartz inside. Gives it back out. Sloppy passing here. Now what you
Milo
need
and
to
Tim both
see that from
upset.
York. Great steal.
Oh, you think a foul could have been called there? There was a stiff arm
Kajomi, though,
to the ground.
nonetheless, great steal. 4:40 to go in this fourth quarter. Duke's on top by 9. And looking back a couple minutes when we were talking about DGN and mishap, we meant the Proviso West tournament that DGN played in. They did quite well in that tournament. Feel they're overlooked. They've beaten good teams. They've also lost teams below 500. But when they're on their A game, they're hard to beat. Now Spiegel saying with it. Spiegel saying inside. Off the
Can't
mark
finish.
again on a layup. Now it's the Red Devils who are slowly coming into this game.
We got a timeout and a full timeout called by Coach Collins. And we'll take a quick break. 3:49 left in the fourth quarter.
And following that timeout, a couple adjustments must have been made by the York coach. Not liking what they're seeing. Coach Collins trying to prevent a comeback from happening late in this game. Of course, they had a bit of a heroic comeback themselves in this contest. And great steal there from Hinsdale Central. Going down the court. Open girl in the corner. No good. The 3 Hinsdale Central girls are right there for the rebound. And the steal is recorded by Maya Rufus, but quickly turns it over herself. And Bobby, I have to ask you, of course, the season of basketball has been great. There's still a lot more to go. Playoffs, at least 4 more games for each of these York teams. In fact, many more for both of them. And great steal there, all the way down court. This time, too easy for the York Dukes, but me and Bobby will be on the call for the lacrosse season. I have to ask, are you looking forward to it?
I am. I'm very excited. We started York Sports Network this school year. I was the one who did every football game. Gavin Hughes joined me for that final football game, and it's really turned around, and not really turned around, but it's grown. It's grown, to say the least. And we look forward to doing spring sports. Girls soccer is another one. So lacrosse and girls soccer.
Even potentially baseball, if we can find the room to do so. And as you said, I'm really impressed with the growth of York Sports Network as people have joined.
I'm proud of everyone a part of this
It's really bloomed into something special.
Who've helped. The Jack Tosh was a big reason for it.
Absolutely. I feel like there's many contributors that we could thank. Of course, Mr. Chambers comes to mind. Must thank him. He's done a great job providing not only the equipment but support for York Sports Network, and really has groomed it into what it is today.
Well, and then we have to give a big thanks to our AV guy and technical producer, Jack Borchers, who's been a big help with all of this.
Yeah, without him, I don't think any of us would even know what a soundboard is. So, thanks for that, Jack.
I might.
No, we wouldn't. All right.
Oh, okay.
Back to the game.
Okay.
3 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Duke's on top by 11 with the basketball. After the fourth quarter, Duke's team has looked like a completely different team than what we saw. Very impressed by their backdoor passes. There's another one there. Backdoor cutting, backdoor passes. Certainly something that Coach Collins addressed in the huddle, and it's worked out well.
Well, that's one of their biggest things that they run on offense is those backdoor passes, and then whenever you got Carly Shorts out on the court, it's the kick out to the corner, and it's catch and shoot. And that's how it mostly was. She's not just going to catch it, dribble a basketball, and then shoot. No, it's catch and shoot.
Bit of a Nick Hesh, bit of a Clay Thompson there from the corner. Been a huge help for this Lady Dukes basketball team. And with only a minute 55 to go in this game, the Dukes are on top by 11. And now there's a foul call on Hinsdale Central. That comes against Eleanor Maniek. But back to the topic of YSN as a whole. Looking forward to the spring sports, of course, lacrosse, as we said.
Next year, too. Next year will be, we hope to have a big, like a banner that we'll have to publicize. Wow, that's hard to say. Publicize.
Ugh, that is
You
hard
can't
to
even
say.
say it.
That's pretty hard to say. And of course, Jack Borchers wants the truck by next year.
That's why we are getting, please feel free to donate us $1 million and you will get the live stream. You will see Ryan Pickell eat 5 pounds of spaghetti. There is no time limit. This stream could be 10 hours long for all we know.
If you want to see a grown man, Mr. Chambers, cry, just hand him a $1 million check. And I'm sure it'll do just that.
We're not kidding either. We are dead serious about this.
Just got word from Jack Borchers. He really wants this. This truck is a legitimate idea.
It'd be helpful.
But, of course, it's not a necessity. We're running just fine now. YSN.
York Sports Network. Yeah.
Great thus far.
Timeout. You can also follow the Twitter, York Sports Network, or the Instagram,
yeah, York Sports Network. Allocating itself on many social media outlets. Never know.
On Facebook. Well, Mr. Chambers is on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to count that.
We're still not on TikTok yet. You know what? I'll tell you what. $1 million donation, you'll see us on TikTok as well.
You know what? If you want to run that, be my guest.
I'll pass. TikTok, not my preferred network, but it will be if you donate $1 million. It'll change my opinion on a lot of things. So that $1 million could absolutely buy a TikTok account.
That's going to change a lot.
Sure will.
You'll see Pickle eating spaghetti. You'll have...
If you're wondering what would come with that $1 million package, the truck doesn't matter. We're worried about watching Ryan Pickell every Thursday eating 5 pounds of chunky spaghetti.
It's going to be every Thursday we're going to do. I thought this was going to be a one-time thing. It's just going to be a big stream.
But when people donate money, they want
They want
commitment.
You know what? I don't know if that's true.
I certainly would want commitment from the crew that I had just donated to.
Yeah, our commitment is live streaming these games. This is our commitment.
And now it's York with it again, fouled. Up 11 here with 1:19 to go. Looks like both York teams will come on top, both the JV and the varsity team.
Gonna slow it down, it looks like.
They get the ball down court extremely easily. Not shoot the open layup.
I think they're just gonna.
They're gonna hold the ball, run the clock.
You know, let's see, you're down 11. A minute to go. I feel like I make this not necessarily rant, but speech every time this happens. There's a minute left and you're down 11. I don't know what you think can happen, especially in high school basketball, but
I have to say it. Anything can happen.
I don't think it's necessary.
Crazier things have happened, and they will continue to happen. We saw it in 2018 when Virginia knocked off Louisville, down 5 with just 0.7 seconds to go.
That is right. I forgot about that.
So
I forgot about it. And then was that the that was the same exact season the UMBC came around. Well,
yes.
Virginia didn't have any hope in that final minute. They were down 20.
They had just beat Louisville in their ACC tournament, make it to the March Madness tournament, and the UMBC Ramblers are like, we're the boss now. Almost asked of a team just destroying this York Dukes boys team that has been dominant this season. And Milo Man, Tim Glavin, very into this game. Happy to see their Dukes on top. They sure are having fun. And who wouldn't be? Both starters on the varsity team, both key contributors to what has made the Dukes so great this season.
It's very true. And Milo, he stepped up in that MLK tournament, proven to be a starter.
And another guy who stood up in that tournament, of course, Glavin made the tournament-winning shot. Shockey had a spinning jumper that airballed Glavin all over the offensive glass. Not only grabbed the rebound, but put it up for the win.
I was there baseline. You see this thing bounce what felt like 10 times, even though it was only 3. It felt like a lifetime, and Bennett was beyond upset. We remember the Bennett game that was in this gym earlier this year. That was basically all York from the get-go. But is that 3?
Wow.
Knocks it down.
She wanted a foul there. I could have seen that being called. I am impressed, to say the least, with the fight this Hinsdale Central team showing. I know you don't like the fouls here. I understand that.
It just slows down the game.
I do absolutely understand that, but nonetheless, I'm very impressed with the fight this team's shown.
There's a certain boundary. If you're down 8 with this much time, sure. You're even down 9, but down 10.
Man, that 1 point difference really.
It
really
does.
swayed it for you.
It makes a difference, especially to me. And here we go. We're up 11.
Yeah, I agree with you that to an extent, it gets to a point.
If you're down 20 with 2 minutes, don't foul. Believe me.
And there's teams that will continue to foul until there's a second left, regardless of the situation. Some coaches like to fight to the final minute, which I absolutely respect. Some teams like to end it on a positive note. But I agree with you. In this situation, rather than fouling, the Dukes have shown they're going to make their free throws. I'm going for a steal. See, that intentional foul there with 28.1 to go down 12. Is that really going to help you?
No.
I would prefer to see the team go for a jump or a steal, which would actually not only
and all that does is that puts you in more foul trouble and gives them 2 shots.
Absolutely, and that at this point seems to be free points for the Dukes.
It does.
And I think that a steal almost would provide more of a spark plug going into this next game. more of a momentum swing, more of something to grow on than just watching the Dukes miss a free throw and having this team come down and shoot a shot like that. Offensive rebound.
Can't finish. Out of bounds. Go down with, staying with Hinsdale.
And you got to think, do they call their infamous inbound play that has been working all game? They do so. It works again, but once again,
they can't
miss
finish.
layup.
And no need to foul here as we have entered the final seconds. And a final score of 46 to 34.
This has been a great call. I'm AJ Swiatek here with Bobby Hessling. These York Dukes at 1 point, trailed by 7. Came back, made the margin of victory very large, won by 12. Will not only be on the call for some of the playoff games, will be on the call for 2 of the remaining boys basketball games. And look forward to the lacrosse season coming up. Thank you to all of YSN for contributing, and thank you to Mr. Chambers. Until next time, farewell.
Have a good night, everyone.